I am live and let's see here. Am I live? I am showing us live. Okay, alrighty. So like, cool. All right,
It's
so
on a big delay.
It's on a big delay. Okay. So I have like my TV going and making sure that I am live. Hey guys, so this is the officially unofficial geek channel. The Flashback Friday anniversary special for my channel. I'm excited. Here we are. We're going to be talking about the very special Harley Quinn today. Talking about the origins and other stuff about Harley Quinn. Okay, so I am officially using this StreamYard business here, and I've never used it before. So we're going to learn with everyone here. Yeah, so here we are. It's been a year. I've been doing the channel thing for a year with the officially unofficial geek channel. I'm gonna go ahead and put my glasses like nearby because there's a glare. That's not gonna work. Okay. So I did my makeup all special, all Harley Quinnized. Yeah. So guys, let's talk about Harley Quinn here. Let's talk about why I'm doing Harley Quinn for my special anniversary show. So the reason I'm doing Harley Quinn for my special anniversary show is because she's my fave. She's my favorite. She's my favorite girl, my favorite character. She's been my favorite character for many, many, many years. Ever since she came into being. Which we're going to talk about here. So I think everybody has that special character that they really love, and Harley is mine. She's I was a little kid watching the Batman the Animated Series, and I was really into it. It was really cool. I'm just gonna, kind of talk here until see if people join the chat. That would be cool. If not, I will just go on about my merry little business. How about that? Mm-hmm. It's Friday night. I'm sure people have more pressing things to do, so I'm just gonna keep on here. Parties and stuff. Yes. Hey guys. So I wasn't on mute, and he wasn't either. He's not gonna be in the video, but you might hear Joe in the background. So if you heard him just now, he is off camera over there. If you watch my you listen to more like my What's Happening Wednesdays show lately. Actually, he has been my wonderful co-host for that. So here at the officially unofficial geek channel, we started out as actually a podcast. And that did not last very long. And I found that I, more than likely was going to be better suited for doing YouTube. So I started slowly transitioning to YouTube a little over a year ago. And one of the first videos I did was, because originally we were just a pop culture type of thing where we would talk about anything. And now, if you look at my channel content, you see that I am overwhelmingly, mostly, not completely, but mostly about comics. So one of the first videos I did on my YouTube was about Harley Quinn. It was about one series in particular. I'm just going to go ahead and share that with you right now. It was about Harley Quinn, Batman White Knight, Harley Quinn. This is the first issue. I loved this series, and it was actually the series that brought me back into the fold of comics because I happened to come across it one day. I had not heard about it, and I just happened to be in an LCS and found it. So this series, written by Katana Collins, with art Sean Gordon Murphy, Matteo Scalera, Dave Stewart, is absolutely awesome. If you've never read Batman White Knight, Harley Quinn, read it. Also, if you've never read the two predecessors to Batman White Knight, Harley Quinn, Batman White Knight and Batman White Curse of the White Knight, those are highly recommended by me as well. This is a really special book to me because, like I said, it brought me back into comic reading, and it wasn't long after that until I was completely jumping in all fours, basically. And I have every issue of this one, and I absolutely love it. I just wanted to go ahead and show that to you guys right away to kind of give you a little bit more context as to why I chose Harley Quinn to speak of this evening, because I love her and she's been special to me all this time. Okay, so Harley Quinn actually originated because of a cartoon series, because of Batman the Animated Series. Most people grew up watching that, and like me, it was probably a big deal to a lot of people. And that is actually where Paul Dini developed Harley Quinn and put her on the map, basically. In the first appearance of Harley Quinn is in an episode referred to as Joker's Favor. I'm going to see if I can go ahead and share. Let's see if we can share screen here because I'm still new with this. We're going to give it a shot. We're going to do a window. Let's see here. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to hopefully go ahead and do this. So, yeah, we're getting there. Okay. All right. I'm pretty sure what you're seeing right now is not Harley Quinn. So what you're seeing right now is actually a woman by the name of Arlene Sorkin. Now, Arlene Sorkin is special because she went to college. She was an old college buddy of Paul Dini. And apparently it's not showing on the screen. Let me see. It's not showing, and that's not working for me. Okay. Hold on. Let's go ahead and remove that for a moment. Stop sharing. This is real, folks. This is how this works out here. 1 second. We're going to give this another shot here. Share screen. Okay. Let me see if this works. All right. So, yay, it worked. Okay. So, groovy. This is not Harley Quinn. This is Arlene Sorkin, and Arlene Sorkin is very special because she was an old college friend of Paul Dini, who actually originated and first wrote Harley Quinn in Batman the Animated Series. So Arlene Sorkin was not only a college buddy of Paul Dini. She is actually an actress on her own. She was a soap opera actress. That's where the inspiration for the Harley Quinn came from, was from this dream sequence that happened here in Days of Our Lives way back in the day. where Arlene Sorkin, right, pictured here, played a little bit of a jester Harley Quinn type thing. So Arlene did this, and then a little while later, after Paul Dini saw it, he came up with the character of Harley. Now, what's really kind of cool is if you know about Batman the Animated Series at all, you know that the Joker was actually played by, voiced by Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill, I found this when I was looking for information about Arlene Sorkin. Actually, back in 2020 on Arlene's birthday, Mark Hamill, I saw this and I wanted to kind of share this with you guys because it says in the script, she was just an unnamed Joker henchwench with no discernible personality. When Arlene began reading her lines in that unforgettable voice, so poignant and full of heart, I nearly fell off my chair. She brought so much more than what was on the page, and a legend was born. So obviously she worked with Mark Hamill, and I just, when I saw this, I just thought it was really beautiful to see. And Mark Hamill is just a really beautiful person, it seems, and anyway. So this is, I just wanted to share, this is one of what one of her co-stars said about her playing Harley, because actually Arlene Sorkin went on to be the first voice of Harley Quinn. So here we go. This is right here. This is the title shot of Joker's Favor. This is the first appearance officially of Harley Quinn, and I just actually rewatched that today. It doesn't seem like they've actually named her Harley in this episode. I believe the name actually is said Harley later on in another episode. But yes, this is the title page of Batman the Animated Series, Joker's Favor. And here we are, where you first meet one Harley Quinn. And here she is. She's sitting on the desk of Mr. J, and she's, Mr. J is talking about all of the stuff involving Police Commissioner Gordon getting his special medal or commendation from the city. Now we're going to go ahead and wait to talk about that for a moment. So, all right. So we're going to stop sharing for a moment. Okay. So some of the things that should be mentioned kind of about the idea of Harley Quinn in Joker's Favor in Batman the Animated Series is that, one, she was meant to be a one-off character. She was not meant to gain any traction and be a popular character. She was meant to be kind of a one, maybe a two-and-done character to, kind of liven up one episode of Batman the Animated Series as one of Joker's unnamed henchmen. Well, you have to wonder if maybe the personal relationship that Paul Dini had with his friend Arlene Sorkin, who obviously inspired Harley Quinn, made it so that he kind of wrote it with a little bit more care, like he didn't write it like some nameless henchman there, but there was a little bit more care to it, and you can kind of tell that there was a little bit more care to it. And I think that's probably why we end up seeing Harley Quinn becoming such a sensation, so to speak. And I mean, that's the way I feel about it mostly, because it's not long until Harley Quinn becomes something that is a regular appearance on Batman the Animated Series. At this time in Harley's history, we really don't have a lot of mention of her origins at this point. She is Harley Quinn. She is the Joker's girlfriend and henchman. And there's not a lot of mention of where actually Harley is coming from in all of this. And we actually have to wait a little bit of time to get that. And we will eventually be talking about different origins of Harley Quinn and different things in regards to that a little bit later here. But one of the things is really interesting that they talk about, and one of my sources is the Wikipedia article, quite simply referred, the Wikipedia article called Harley Quinn. And there's a lot of history in there about her, and it talks about a lot of different points in her history and how she was basically modeled, and you get a little bit more detail to the story about Arlene Sorkin and how she ended up inspiring and being the first voice of Harley Quinn. So Harley obviously did not have any place in the comic world. Harley was just something that debuted in Batman the Animated Series in that one episode. And it wasn't until 1993 that she actually got her foot in, her little jingly, Jester Bell Clown Princess of Crime foot into the actual printed comics. Now, there are 2 points of origin, 2 points of entry for Harley Quinn into the world of printed literature and printed comics. One is outside of continuity, and that's the first one. That's the first one that we're going to talk about. Now, let's see here. I'm going to try and share again here. No, that's not working. Hold on. Just give me 1 second. Let's see here. I promise you guys, as this goes on, I will get much better with the whole sharing thing. If you're watching later, I will get better at this, I swear. So here we are. This is Batman, the Batman Adventures, number 12, back in 1993. Here's our girl, Harley Quinn, right here. And this issue is the first time the character of Harley Quinn is in print, basically. Little known trivia about myself. Way back when I was a little girl, it's 1983, so probably around 5th or 6th grade. I actually had a little bit of cash of course, $125. And I had gone to, I recall quite simply, I had gone to a local store, and this is actually right here. This is the absolute number 1 first comic I ever bought. Now, do I still have it? No. I, being a little kid and having a little bit of a problem with focus, did not really, safeguard my comics like I do now. But this I did own, and it's really sad that I don't own it still. Because actually, whenever I try to find it online, anytime I try to bid on it on eBay, if it's at a lower price, I'm outbid in minutes, because it's something right here. Even though it is outside of continuity, it can get pretty good numbers on eBay for auctions. So it'll be a while before I'm able to afford it again. But at one point in time, I afforded that $1.25, and I owned this comic. It was a big deal for me. And I think that's really funny that The first comic I ever owned was this comic because of Harley. And the thing that brought me back into comics recently was, again, Harley Quinn. And so obviously you can see where there's a little bit of a special thing for me there. It's special to me. Um, so here, this is a story that is out of continuity. We have Batman is off doing something. So Batman is not actually in this story, and it highlights more of Batgirl, Barbara Gordon. And the story starts out where Barbara is talking to her father, Jim Gordon, Commissioner Gordon, about going out and going to a costume party for her friend. And she's also asking a lot of questions about Batman because her father knows Batman and she's all interested about Batman and everything like that. And her father doesn't know that her costume for the costume party is this Batgirl costume. So I'm not exactly sure if this is the first time we see Barbara Gordon in this version with the Batgirl suit, but I'll have to look into that. But I'm going to say that she goes and she puts on the costume like she's going to a costume party. So she's not really intending on fighting crime at the costume party. She's going just to have fun. It's her friend's party. Well, her friend is also from a wealthy family. And what we have on the other end of things is we have Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn have come up with the idea, the caper, that they're going to kidnap her, Barbara's friend, whose party it is, and then hold her ransom for a big, payday. So Barbara arrives at the party and she goes looking for her friend, and what she finds is, while dressed as Batgirl, Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy holding her friend hostage. And they're basically kidnapping her friend, and so she can't have that, right? So she tries fighting Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn, and actually she gets some hits in there, and she actually holds her own, and eventually, blow after blow, everything comes to an end, and when it comes right down to it, Barbara Gordon saves her friend from Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. So that is basically the first appearance in print of Harley Quinn. But here's the thing. This is not in continuity. And obviously we know that Harley Quinn, for the most parts, does have a place in continuity. So with that, I present to you Batman Harley Quinn number 1. This story takes place in the middle of No Man's Land. In fact, if you have the omnibus for No Man's Land, this is in the omnibus. This is the first time Harley Quinn appears in continuity in print. And coincidentally, it is one of the first times that we have the Dr. Harleen Quinzel origin story. Here we are. This is the first time right here. It's an origin story that a lot of people have revisited over the years, telling stories. Whether they're telling it as a flashback, and Harley is usually telling the story, like where you get from the New 52 Harley Quinn stories, or it is a full retelling of the entire tale from beginning to end of her origin. That has been done recently with Harleen, and that has been done with a little book that I am going to talk about in a little bit, Joker Harley Criminal Sanity. So I do happen to have a little bit of a a visual aid here involving Batman Harley Quinn 1. And let's see here. And that's right here. This is a really special, fun little gift. That was my Christmas present from my boyfriend, from Joe. And it is the 25th anniversary volume of the Best of Harley Quinn. So obviously, book-wise, it's really cool. There's a lot of really great stuff, a lot of great stories I've read, some I haven't read that I'm going to read, but it does include Batman Harley Quinn 1. It does not include, however, it does not include Batman Adventures number 12, which seems kind of odd to me. I don't know why. I'm not exactly sure why it would leave that one out, but have all the others. So this does take place in the middle of No Man's Land, that whole storyline. And it is one of the first times that we get the Dr. Harleen Quinzel storyline, where she gets to treat the Joker and falls in love with the Joker, so on and so forth. Let's see here. I want to show you some of the fun stuff here. So Harley treats the Joker, right? Then she ends up being locked up as well because she let the Joker get free, right? Then, she's a little bit, nutso at that point, right? So when everything goes down with No Man's Land and the earthquakes and everything like that, she does get free from Arkham. And when she does, she decides that she's going to go find her pudding. So you have her getting, figuring out her costuming and settling on the quintessential early Harley Quinn look. And then you have her running around going and looking for the Joker. And she finds the Joker, and the Joker is trying with his henchmen to strike a deal with Penguin. So Penguin is not having this deal. So when Penguin decides he's not going to participate in the deal with the Joker the way the Joker likes, Harley shows up and starts beating up basically the Penguin and all the Penguin's henchmen, and trying to be like, nobody messes with my pudding kind of thing. And she does all that, and that kind of reintroduces the Joker to her. Like, he's like, I recognize that voice. And then he finally realizes and figures out that it is, in fact, his former doctor, Dr. Harleen Quinzel. And so Harley decides that she's joining Joker's group, and she is going to build their new hideout. And so she does that. She does all this really cool stuff for the Joker, right? She's really helping him out. She even holds her own beaten up Batman, okay? And the Joker, doesn't just dump her. The Joker decides he's going to send her basically packing in a way that's permanent. He decides he's going to kill her. And when he does this, you do find out that Harley is found by Poison Ivy, which would mean that this is their first meeting in continuity, Poison Ivy and Harley. And Poison Ivy decides that she, is going to take a little bit of sympathy on Harley Quinn and, have a little fun in the process as well. So when she does that, so here's the reason why Poison Ivy is in need of a little bit of fun. Okay, so we're going to nutshell this. So it's No Man's Land, and Batman has made the deal with Poison Ivy that she can, stay free as long as she participates in helping the people of Gotham survive, basically by providing produce as food to the people of Gotham. So, she decides that she's going to have a little fun with, basically through Harley, with Batman and the Joker. So this is one of those instances where you find out that basically Poison Ivy has fortified Harley Quinn so that she can, you'll hear about throughout Harley Quinn's history about how she has been given basically defenses against being affected by Poison Ivy and being affected by a lot of different poisonous substances. This is the first circumstance where you see in continuity, where you see Poison Ivy assisting Harley with that kind of fortitude. Because Poison Ivy is like, here, I'm going to give you this, and it's going to make you stronger, faster. It rebuilds you, that kind of thing. So we've got that going on, and that's really cool. So one of my favorite moments is she decides that she's going to go off and she's going to find Batman to let him know that she wants to lead Batman to the Joker so the Joker can get caught, because she's mad at the Joker because the Joker basically tried to kill her. Like, that's a really good reason. That's a really damn good reason. And I don't know why I stumbled after saying that. Yeah, she's wanting to help Batman capture the Joker because he tried to kill her, and all she wanted to do was love him. And there's this funny moment where every once in a while Batman comes back with a little bit of a quip, a little bit of quick wit, and he's just kind of getting the story from Harley Quinn. And when he is getting that story from Harley Quinn and she tells him everything that happens, he just kind of looks at her and is like, so you found out about the Joker henchman retirement plan. So I just wanted to mention this, that was actually like a really cool moment. So basically what we got going on here is she wants to embarrass Batman, and she wants to also get the Joker as well. Well, that silver-tongued clown prince of crime actually ends up convincing Harley that he's sorry about everything he's done. We all know that's bullshit, but that's what happens. So let me see here. Let me share again here. Go. So that's the cover of Batman Harley Quinn 1. So it's the official in continuity introduction that people reading the comics have to the relationship of Joker and Harley Quinn. This is another one. I'm actually going to talk about this right now, because this, one of the things that happens with Harley Quinn quite a bit is you have a lot of retellings of her origin story. And that's kind of what we're going to do, involving segueing into talking about Joker Harley Criminal Sanity. This is not from Joker Harley Criminal Sanity. This is actually, and this one here is actually from Harleen. And I can go ahead and I can also show you that right now. This one right here. This is what we're talking about here. This lovely, lovely piece of literature. Probably one of my favorite retellings of Harley Quinn's origin story. So if you've never read this one, it is, as you can see, a beautiful piece of art. And it is also beautifully written. I never pronounced the name correctly. We're going to give it a shot. Stepan Sejic. Absolutely gorgeous. This hardcover, I'm in love with. So like you get like really cool art like this, and that's the front. And let's see here. I'm going to show you. This is the back cover of this one. And you also have that image there. Oops. Let me do this. That image there of this one. This is probably, in my opinion, one of the really, really great retellings of Harley Quinn's origin. One of the things I really like about the different retellings of Harley Quinn's origin is that we get in a circumstance where more and more, at least lately, the origin that's being told, the retelling of the origin has been much kinder to Harley Quinn than, say, in here with Batman Harley Quinn #1. We go from Harley Quinn being perceived and shown in one way to Harley Quinn being perceived and shown in some really different ways that really, I think, as a reader, as a fan of Harley Quinn, really matter. We go from literally right in the beginning, that first origin of Harley Quinn, referring to herself as someone that got through medical school by sleeping her way through. To the point where now we have accepted in most stories that Harley Quinn, while she is a beautiful woman, did not sleep her way to medical school. She is actually smart, intelligent, and is actually being presented in that way. And that's going to bring us to Joker, Harley, Criminal Sanity, which is kind of taking the origin story of Joker and Harley and turning it on its ear. So, this is just absolutely, really one of my favorite origin retellings of Harley Quinn that I've read in a long time. And in Batman the White Knight Presents Harley Quinn, we get another retelling of her origin story as well. It's pretty good as well. It also paints her very intelligently. It paints her as being an actually like she earned that PhD, you know? Like she's not the character that slept her way through med school. She earned it. And this is another one that really shows that idea, really shows that she's really a force to be reckoned with. And this is absolutely, I cannot recommend this piece of literature and art enough. Oh my God. Garcia Swalyan, Badover, Mayhew, and Kwok produced this absolutely beautiful work where, just to give you a little bit of an idea, the blurb on the back, murder is his art, catching killers is hers. So the thing is right away, that's a little bit, just reading that is a little bit of a turn. in what we normally have for Harley origin stories. It says, in Gotham City, heinous acts of violence are a daily occurrence. Harley Quinn, forensic psychiatrist and profiler, another difference, consults with the GCPD on their worst cases. A little bit of a difference there. But she is fixated on an unsolved murder that haunts her. The night she discovered her roommate's body marked with the signature of a notorious serial killer known as the Joker. 5 years later, the case remains unsolved, and a new series of horrific killings has begun. As the murders escalate and their meticulously constructed crime scenes, and yes, they are meticulously created, ooh, my, becomes more elaborate, Harley's obsession with finding the depraved psychopath responsible leads her down a dangerous path. When the past and present finally collide, Harley has to decide how far she is willing to go and how many lines she is willing to cross to solve these cases once and for all. It's so good. Okay, simply put, it's really good. More complexly put, there is a mixing of art styles here that are just so beautifully done, so beautifully put together. There are times where we have absolutely compelling, absolutely compelling art in black and white, and at times just looks very, I would say the influence looks very Sin City. But then you have the moments where where you have this absolutely beautiful colored moments that are not black and white, obviously, because they're colored. Duh, Carrie. And the timing of when they do, there's definite meaning in when they do the colored sections versus the color. And the thing is there's a hyper, at times, a hyper realism with the art that's absolutely exceptional. There's like a lot of the flashback flashback moments where you're hearing about everything that had happened in the past with Harley's roommate and everything that all like is in this absolute hyper realistic art style, like that. So you do have Harley Quinn working with the GCPD to solve one of their toughest cases, which is the cases of the serial killer, the Joker. I don't want to give that too much away with that one because that's still a relatively new one, and it does take a bit of a turn in regards to the storyline. And I normally go full spoiler-tastic on videos like this, but I have to say that I recommend the book so much that I want you to just go ahead and read it rather than me telling you about it. Because I just absolutely went nuts for that one. So I also wanted to go ahead and show you guys some of my absolute favorite Harley Quinn issues that I have in my special collection. These come from the special box, guys. So here we have Harley Quinn number 25 from the new 52 era. This is something that I bought because I heard about it. I wasn't actually actively reading comics at the time. And this is the issue where this did get some articles written about it, where it's the issue. Excuse me. It's the issue where Harley Quinn goes and finds the Joker and basically ends it with him by beating the holy crap out of him. We have the beginning of that era, which is Harley Quinn number 1, the New 52. This is Connor Palmani and Chad Hardin, one of the quintessential time periods of Harley Quinn. And they even have their own positioning on her origins and retelling her origins. And a lot of their writing also dives into the Birds of Prey and all that stuff. So that's really cool. So I have basically 2 different covers for the same issue. And this is Harley Quinn number 75. This is the cover A. And the reason why this one is really special to me is because, and here is the really cool cover B, and it's going to, not cover B, excuse me. It's the Cho variant for Harley Quinn 75. And as you can see, there is Punchline. Punchline being Joker's new girlfriend. And there's a secondary story in this one that is a Joker War tie-in. Now, it's the Joker War part of the story of Joker War that has the beginning part of the Harley, one of the Harley parts of the Joker War, where basically you have Harley Quinn getting into a fight with, excuse me, getting into a fight with Punchline, and at a certain point, Punchline slits Harley's neck, like starts like she's gonna slit her. She actually cuts her throat, and Harley goes and she gets through it, and she stitches her own neck up, her own throat, stitches it up herself. And she's got like this, you're not going to mess with Harley Quinn kind of thing. And I love that. I love that whole thing where she sits there and she's like, okay, I'm going to stitch up my own neck. Hi, Miss O. How are you doing? I actually have my first comment of the evening. Hi. Hi. So that's really great. Thank you for joining. You've made it to the end of the Harley Quinn stuff. Or at least for the most part. Yeah, so I really love the moment in the Joker War, right at the beginning of the Joker War saga, where Harley Quinn fights Punchline and has to stitch up her own throat, basically. That's one of my favorite moments in the entire Joker War saga is this I love the defiance, like, you will not defeat me, I am Harley fucking Quinn, that comes from this time period now that we're in of Harley Quinn. So you will not defeat me, I'm going to stitch up my own goddamn throat. Thank you very much, I'm Harley fucking Quinn. So, okay, so I actually have some stuff that I can show off. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show off some haul stuff and some unboxing stuff, to kind of finish out the program this evening. But one of the things I do want to show is I've done a lot of talking about Joker and Harley. And I just want to put this out there that, to me, the Joker is not Harley's one true love. It is not. It is not. It is not. It is not this guy right here. It is, in fact, this woman right here. This woman right here. Poison Ivy. I just want to take a moment to talk about this story right here and how a lot of Fear State, Batman Fear State event was not good. I do have another video about that. If you want to watch it, please do so. where I basically chronicle the whole shish kabang of Fear State and talk about my viewpoints of it. And this is actually from Fear State right here. And I absolutely, the only good parts to me, in my opinion, of Fear State were the points where you were dealing with the story of, one, Catwoman, and two, the story of, in addition to Catwoman, the story of what Harley was going through and that whole process in trying to get the two halves of, who is the artist for that one? That is Jorge Jimenez. That was Jorge Jimenez that did that art. And I think, oh gosh, I don't have it handy right now with the colors, but I know it's Jorge Jimenez that did that. Some of the most beautiful stuff, that you'll ever see, was during that time period where the story was not that great, but the art was actually like right on the nose. And that moment is actually from the kind of getting close to the end of Fear State, where they are actually able to combine both Pamela's together and become whole again, and be the little bit more well-rounded Pamela Isley. And that's kind of the moment that Harley is like leading up to throughout this entire like process, where she's like, the number one goal of Harley Quinn in Fear State is putting herself in a position where she can reunite the two parts of Poison Ivy, to help Poison Ivy, hopefully, because Poison Ivy's not in a really good place at this point. And it's like if you're reading it and you're reading any part of Harley Quinn's journey, and even Catwoman through Fear State, where it's like everything that they're doing, to me, in my video, I talk about how the real MVPs of Fear State are Catwoman and Harley Quinn, because everything they did to combat everything that was going on involving the fear toxin, involving hate, involving everything like that, everything that motivated their entire story arc for that one was done out of hope and love. When you have Harley Quinn doing it out of hope and love for reuniting the two parts of Poison Ivy, because she loves Poison Ivy, because she loves her Pamela Isley. And you have Catwoman doing all this because of her love for Bruce, for Batman, and for her strays. To be quite honest, it's also her group of kids that she's been basically mentoring, and taking care of, helping take care of. So everything that they do to combat fear and hate is, hi Mary, hi. So everything that Poison Ivy, or excuse me, everything that Harley Quinn is doing and Catwoman is doing throughout Fear State, is to basically combat fear and hate by basically, how do I want to put this? By operating throughout that whole story arc because of their love for, different things, for Harley, for Pamela Isley, and for Gotham, and Catwoman, Selena on her end, because of her strays and what she's built with them, and because of, well, basically because of Bruce, because and it is this YouTuber's and comic reader's opinion that Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle are destined for each other, that they are soulmates. That's how I feel. I don't know if anyone else feels that way, because that's how I feel. Um, so yeah, that is basically the end of of the main Harley Quinn festivities this evening, but I do have a lot of stuff to show you guys that I have gotten. Now, you might see a little bit shut up again. You know, I got curious one night, one day, one afternoon. It probably lasted me a while to do this research, but I was like, I was not reading at the time when the whole marriage the wedding did not happen, and I was like, what the heck? Why didn't this happen? This is so they're beshirt, like this is Selena and Bruce can't miss, you know. Um, and when I looked into a lot of that, I'm gonna eventually be able to read. I'm gonna eventually read that because one, I don't have to wait to get the book because I have the DC Infinite membership, and I'm definitely it is on tap for me right now. Um, but the whole idea of why she does not marry him like will absolutely break for I think it's gonna ruin me for a day or two because I do know why she doesn't marry him, and that's when I finally read it, that's probably going to hurt. So watch this space because I'll probably talk about it because that is another thing. Well, along with obsessing over Harley Quinn, I do obsess quite often over Catwoman and Selena Kyle and Bruce Wayne's relationship and that dynamic over like decades. Um, okay, all right. Yay, all right. That's cool. You got your 6-year-old little sister. That's so cute. Um, I will try to keep the swearing at this point to a minimum. Sometimes those F bombs and S bombs just come out of my mouth, so I apologize. But yeah. It was a great story, gorgeous artwork, but in the end totally made sense even though it was bittersweet. Yeah, that's basically the indication that I'm getting from what I've looked at, and it's if you I don't know if you got the opportunity, Miss So, to read any of the content of Catwoman like right before Fear State, where it's like she's kind of really struggling. And it's that last part of Rom V's run. I'm wondering if my cat just got into the picture. No, I don't think he did. Um, when you have Rom V's um, run, it's near the end of Rom V's run with Catwoman, where she's really struggling with her place in the world, like big time, and trying to make sense of everything, and like to the point where like there's this moment where she's dealing with the fallout of what she did in the middle of Joker War, where she basically stole like a whole bunch of money from Penguin, Riddler, all that. Okay. So she's dealing with the fallout of that still, because the Penguin has hired someone to basically kill Catwoman, kill Selena Kyle. And a lot of people end up in the crosshairs of that one. And you get her sister who at a certain point basically says, you know what, I love you, but it's hard to love you. And then leaves her. And and she's like dealing with all the violence, that's attached to her. And she's just like, how do I in a good conscience like deal with this with my strays and everyone's attached to me? Like is it hard? Not only is it hard to love me, but is it dangerous? It's also dangerous to love me. That nobody around me can handle loving me. And there's this moment, this absolutely beautiful moment where you get kind of my kitty in the background. He's there. I'm sitting on the couch and he is like right there. It's so cute. Him and the other cat are playing. Maybe they're maybe playing. They might be mad at each other. It's 50-50. It's 50-50 on most days with them. But she's really dealing with all that and trying to figure out where her place is in this world, and if anyone is really can really handle loving her. And you get this whole idea through the writing paired with the artwork and everything like that, that there's one person that, you know, yeah, right. Yeah, the cats show up when we're talking about Selena Kyle, obviously. Yeah, so there's this moment where, and the art and the writing paired together just absolutely beautifully, and it happens in this run, the Ron V run of Catwoman, where it's basically sitting there and saying like, there is one person that Selena Kyle, doesn't have to worry about loving her. This one person can not only, take care of themselves, but is also willing to be there for her. I love my cats. They are like running after each other. It's so cute. And it's just absolutely, there's like a few Catwoman issues where like right before Fear State, where you can catch that if you haven't been reading Catwoman. And I recommend that. But anyways, I'm going to show off some fun stuff now. I have this store nearby where I live, in the same city. Is it? No, it's this next city over. Because I live in the Rockford area, so northern Illinois, as some of you may remember. And there's this like flea market like place where there's a bunch of different booths, right? And you can find all kinds of stuff. And there's a few booths in particular that have boxes, short boxes, long boxes of comic books. And believe me, I went through them. I definitely did. So I'm just going to show those off to you a little bit here. I'm trying to. We're going to start off by showing you this issue. I read it. Oh, let's see here. I read her sporadically. There's too much to catch up on the Batman Universe these days. Yeah. The thing is, and this could be for a whole other video, but in a nutshell right now, the idea of just the DC universe as a whole being really confusing. It's really confusing in regards to what's continuity, what is not continuity. And we're running headlong into a situation where it has now been deemed called a dark crisis. That's basically where Justice League 75 is going to be spawning out. And if you've been reading Justice League Incarnate, that's kind of, it started there. The DC world is highly confusing in what's continuity and what is not, because if you look at the previews on the DC YouTube channel for Dark Crisis, where it's this quick little video. It's about just under 3 minutes, I think, where they're talking to Joshua Williamson, who, believe me, I am completely on board with Joshua Williamson writing anything right now, because he is just doing some great shit with what he's doing. Believe me, he's brought in just a few issues, he's brought Batman back. He's, you know, from the brink of complete mediocrity. And he's writing Deathstroke Inc. He's actually writing Robin right now, the Damian Wayne book, and everything looks really great. And he is writing the Justice League Incarnate book, where it's starting to shape up this whole Dark Crisis thing. And he is also going to be taking over the Justice League for Justice League number 75, where he is supposedly going to kill the Justice League. Now this is where I have a problem. So every indication is being given to us that it is the Justice League, the main Justice League, that they're going to kill off, with the exception of like one or two of the characters. And this video gives you a little bit more information about what that's leading up to, which is something that's going to be referred to, and it's going to happen in the summer. It's basically another crisis. It's another crisis. It's another crisis. I am slowly but surely accepting the fact that it's just DC Comics is a bunch of different crises on top of each other. I'm just hoping I still like it after all this, but it sounds really interesting. It sounds very similar to what I understand happened during that 52 time period, where the big three basically took some time off, and it was all about like Nightwing and Booster Gold and all that. So seems kind of similar to that, which means that's another thing I'm going to have to read soon, is that 52 time, that 52 area, which, gosh, I just have so much to read, guys. It's like insane. God. All the Batman shit, damn. Anyway, so let me see here. Yeah, right. It's like I'm tired of it, but I'm not. Like, when I look at the concept of, well, right now we're dealing with Detective Comics doing their little event, the Arkham Tower event, where it's all written by one person. Like, regardless of how you feel about the actual story, it's all written by one person. So you don't have to have these people, trying to hold on, as tight as they can in their grasp to their storylines and incorporating them into an event, and still trying to write the event as well. You have one person, they have one job to tell the story of this event. And that's a lot better than the you know what, I do that. You get me going on a subject and I will just go, let's talk about this for a while. But when you have an event and it's written by a number of different people, and with different tie-ins and what have you, things get muddled. And that's exactly what happened, when that's exactly one of the major things that went wrong with Fear State, in my opinion. But when you have events where they're handled by one writer, which is, for instance, right now we have that Detective Comics one with Tamaki, and we're going to have a little bit of something with Batman and Deathstroke, and Damian coming up. That's going to be also written just by Josh Williamson, and then you have everything coming up involving Final Crisis. And it seems like Josh Williamson's kind of got the helm in regards to that Dark Crisis thing. So I don't know if that's going to make it better. You haven't read any of Fear State. Save yourself some time. Really, in my opinion, save yourself some time. If you really want to know what happens in Fear State, there's a lot of different videos out there, not just the one that I try to tote that I've done. There's plenty of different videos talking about different viewpoints out there about it. One of the things that you had a problem with was, one, releasing books in order of the storyline. Two, continuity issues between the different tie-ins was also a very confusing issue. And it probably, you probably have a lot of problem with the fact that all of the Gotham books, all the Batman books, I don't think this has changed yet, but all the Gotham Batman books are edited by one person. Yeah, like it's one of those, it's like they're all edited by one person. All the Gotham books are all edited by one person. And the thing is if you're putting all that kind of pressure and all that kind of work on one person, that things are going to end up falling through. So like you would have things happening in Catwoman, right? And then you would have the storyline where Catwoman, Harley Quinn, and all that is interacting closely together. They are in the same room, okay? And you'd have certain ways that it's formulated and it's set up in Catwoman. And then the next week, Harley Quinn comes out. And Harley Quinn is all of a sudden, throwing one of their main villains into the story, where they just kind of pop up out of nowhere because they were nowhere near the Catwoman issue. So you have that going on, which is quite annoying. It's like, okay, you know what? Keepsake as a character is really interesting, and an interesting villain for Harley to have to deal with. Save it for outside the event is my viewpoint involving that, because if you don't, then it gets confusing. But yeah, that's probably all I got to say about that. Yeah. So stuff that I got from the store, it's a flea market. It's called Hidden Treasures, and it's in Loves Park, which is right next to Harley Park. It's right next to Rockford and McChesney Park in northern Illinois, near the Wisconsin border. And I found some single issues at different booths, and let's just go ahead and show them off. Let's just do that. Let's do this. So I have the New Titans, number 60, and this struck my fancy because I really wanted some actual single issue work of Perez. And this is what I've got here, where you have the New Titans number 60. This is one of them. I love, if you see, it's definitely got the whole like old school, Nightwing and in the weird leisure suit 70s type gear. Where he's looking like Gary Glitter. If you know who that is, he's definitely looking like he's this weird glam rocker. Which I love. I just can't get enough of that. Okay. I absolutely love the Peacemaker series. Yeah. Okay. So I scored this one. I scored for mature readers, Vigilante number 48. Random Vigilante comic. Scored it. It's now mine. I own it. Yay, Vigilante. Yay. I found one of those Duffy Catwoman 0 Hour, Catwoman number 14, where it has that pour the latex over her naked body kind of costume here. The purple latex. Yeah. Latex catsuit. So now for something a little bit different. Before I go right back to the normal for me, I saw this and I absolutely had to have it. Gambit is one of my favorite Marvel characters. Yes, yes. And I thought that was absolutely really cool. One of the primary reasons why I got this issue when I saw it, not because I felt like it was in particular going to be worth anything or anything like that. When I redo my studio setup, what I would like to do is kind of have interchanging moments where I have really cool portrait-like comics on display, and this is definitely one that you will end up seeing in my comic display. I love to get one that's very rogue and have them just kind of sitting next to each other, because they're the old married couple. Okay, so kind of outside of DC, but not anymore. We have Wildcats number 4. I'm building a little bit of a Wildcats collection here. This is number 4. It's Jim Lee. Jim Lee's characters and storylines that he developed when he was with Image, that he is now basically thrown into the DC universe. We've had a little bit of a few of the members of Wildcats, but we've had a lot of Grifter. And so when I fell in love with Grifter, I started looking for some of these issues here. The next one I'm going to show you guys, it's one of my recent ones that I found there because I went there a couple times, is Batman 441. This is, if I remember correctly, is the issue right before Tim Drake becomes Robin. The issue right before it. And what's really funny is when you're sitting there and you're like looking at short boxes and you're grabbing comics because it looks good to you. A while back, I was doing something like that, and I was like, hey, this looks really cool. Well, I inadvertently and unbeknownst to me, until months later, had picked up the first appearance for $1, the first appearance of Tim Drake. That's in my special collection box. Yeah, the first appearance of Tim Drake, I believe it is Batman 436. So it is not the first appearance of Tim Drake as Robin, it's just the first appearance of Tim Drake. And I got it, and I didn't even realize it until recently. Yes, the older Batman covers are really a lot of fun. And here is another one. This one is from, I believe, 1978. And this is Batman number 300. Number 300. I'm weird with the camera here. Carrie, get used to it. You've been doing this for a year now. So Batman number 300. Yeah. It is not in the happiest of conditions, but it's not in the worst of conditions either. So that's always good. And I scored this baby for $5 at this place. That's pretty cool. I'm definitely into that. I'm definitely into when that happens. So I have one more to show you, or no, I have a few more to show you. No, two more to show you from that store that I found. If you've been reading Batman Urban Legends, you will know that there was a story that they started back up that there was a one-shot done a few years back, written by Jeff Lemire, art by Cully Hamner and Derek Donovan. Kind of a send-up of one of the old National Comics characters, and they just reintroduced him, Eternity. So not the most recent Urban Legends issue, but the issue like from last month is when you see the Eternity, Kid Eternity again. I was born in 1974 or 74, started reading Batman here and there in the early mid 80s. I am a 1981 baby. My one of my major first basically when I was shown Batman really for the first time was probably those old Adam West episodes that would show up on syndication on TV. I watched those pretty regularly. And then I would also Batman the Animated Series, obviously. And then yeah, that was for me for the 80s babies, it was mostly Michael Keaton's Batman and the animated series and all the stuff that kind of shot off from that. So the last one I'm going to show you from Hidden Treasures, and I've got 2 boxes also to open. But this is Lobo number 1. One of the lines of Lobo. And yeah. Trying to get the glare off of this. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You could just say it. You are in the room. This is of course my boyfriend commenting on the stream here, and he is actually literally sitting off camera like that way. Still haven't watched the animated series, but watched reruns of the 1960s show and later in the later movies. Batman the Animated Series is one of those things where I think I was just the right age to just latch into that. But I highly recommend it. And along with it's I believe all the episodes are available on HBO Max. It's how I watched it is. Thank you. It's how I got ready for this evening and watched Joker's Favor, which is the first appearance of Harley Quinn. That is season 1, episode 8, I believe. Yes. And it is a lot of fun. And plus you get Mark Hamill voicing the Joker. So that's definitely a plus. And yeah, it's a lot of fun watching that, and actually it is the first time that you do get the first meeting of Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. So yeah, let's see here. You know, I watched a lot of anime in college. I had a friend that kind of got me into anime, and I haven't watched a lot of it, admittedly, in recent years. But one of the things that I used to watch a lot of was Night Hunters, the Vice Cruez crew. I watched a lot of Inuyasha. Obviously the different variations of Dragon Ball. Gosh, what else? There was one that I really enjoyed was called Please Teacher, which like looking back on it now is like really odd and kind of like creepy and cringy. So basically, yeah, I won't get into it because it would take too long. But something it's please teacher and unagi. It's also known as inagi teacher, I believe. Um, but it's weird and admittedly cringy at this point in my and in society and life. Um, we really should watch some more anime. Yeah, the thing is what I run into is there's not enough hours in the day to do anything involving everything that I want to watch. Um, Besides, I'm also sitting here thinking, we just have like a few weeks from now, and Picard is going to start. So that's going to be another thing that's like once a week going to be something that I have to watch. Yeah, right. No, because the thing is when we're mostly watching it, when we're mostly introduced to it, it's the English dubbed version that is cleaned up for kids. Um, Yeah, not a big Dragon Ball Z fan. You know what? Dragon Ball GT because of Vegeta. Yeah. Um it's all about Vegeta. It's not about Goku. It's about Vegeta. Appleseed. That I think I've heard that one.
Yeah, because when I was going through my cyberpunk phase, it's something I had to watch. I'd watch some of it.
Oh, okay. So it's a cyberpunk kind of
Kinda,
thing.
yeah.
That's cool. Um that makes me intrigued to watch it. That actually does. Oh, you know what one I never finished that I wanted to finish, and it's plagued me ever since that I never finished it was Samurai Deeper Kyo. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Anyone's ever seen that one? That one has plagued me that I have not finished it. Um, the demonized Kyo story and everything like that. I gotta figure that out someday soon. The thing is what's really funny is the ones that HBO Max, like if you're gonna spend money on a streaming service, HBO Max definitely deserves money because they have so much on there and they have this whole section, Crunchyroll section, and there's like a few different things that would probably interest you if you haven't jumped on HBO Max. That and you'd be able to watch Batman the animated series because that's also on there. Um, yeah, you had mentioned that one to me, the Samurai Champloo, and yeah, obviously I'm into watching anything samurai. I have not watched very much samurai in a very long time, so that would be a lot of fun to do that. Um, let's see here. So the next thing I'm going to show you guys is this fun package. This is from eBay because I have a problem. I have a problem with eBay. Let me see here. Yes, yes. I love strong female leads. I really do. What I hate is when the live action ones happen and the strong female leads just seem to be um, they seem to just kind of ignore. Um, let's get political for a second. They ignore and everything and make Scarlett Johansson the star, and that I'm a little bit odd on. Um, am I odd? Am I really odd for having that viewpoint that I don't like the fact that Scarlett Johansson starred in Ghost in the Shell? Am I odd for having that viewpoint, chat? Am I odd for having that viewpoint, or is that pretty much on the ball with everything? Yes, I am using something to cut this open. That is probably not going to work. Let's see here. Let's see here. Agreed. I don't know why they're making so many live action versions of anime. They're all terrible. Didn't they have one of Dragon Ball Evolution recently?
Pretty bad.
And it just, I didn't even go for that one because I was totally afraid of that one being really, really bad. I was afraid of that one being really bad. Let's see here. Can I get through with this? We're going to struggle with this somewhat off camera.
Using a plastic knife.
You know what? I am, and it's now finally working. So, you know, I'm finally getting into this damn thing. Cool. So, yeah, whitewashed movie. Whitewash that movie to shit. Yeah. It would have been better if, you know, I think that they would have gotten better attention at least. Involving getting people to see some things like that. But
what just happened?
Okay, so I have a problem. eBay. And I get things from eBay all the time. And I have had this one for a while and hadn't even opened it. So, like I was mentioning earlier about my plan to... Oh, okay. Gotta eat, man. Especially if it's pizza. Shit. Oh, sorry, I swore. I wasn't going to swear. There's little kids watching. All right, so right away, they taped it real good for me. So I was talking about doing like really cool portrait like setup with my studio soon. And one of the ones that I really wanted to find was, she's beautiful, was a really cool portrait of Poison Ivy to pair with my really cool any issue of Harley Quinn. So I found this one. This is the Detective Comics New 52 23.1 Poison Ivy cover right here. She's playing Mario. She doesn't even hear you. Oh, okay, cool. So I can say shit and all that. That's cool. All right. I am not corrupting the minds of young people. That's always a plus. Don't want to corrupt those minds yet. I mean, so this is the reason I did this. Now, I did get a bonus to this, which would be really cool to put them both together. But these both came as a pair. Obviously, we got some New 52 kind of Suicide Squad type Harley. We've got New 52 Poison Ivy. They are going to end up in my setup, of course. Oh, that's what's been sitting in the box. Yeah, that's what's been sitting in the box for a week. Yes, dear. That's main reason I did it was for this one. But we also got this one because, you know, you really want to sweeten the deal with me and buying anything on eBay, add a Harley Quinn. She's my character. She's my girl. So that is one of my boxes. Now we have another very special item in this right here. In this little box right here, we have a Cgc Graded Comic. Yay! It is one of my grails too. And if you had watched my Flashback Friday last week and my collected edition Tuesday, just a few days before that, I did a whole Jason Todd thing. Okay, because Jason Todd is my comic book boyfriend. And I fell really in love with this one issue and that was a part of Under the Red Hood, where it's Batman annual number 25, and it's basically explaining how Jason Todd died a boy and came back in Under the Red Hood and Hush and Under the Red Hood as a man. And it kind of explains what happens there, how that happens. There's a whole other I think it's like 6-issue series that the writer Judd Whitnick does get into, where where he I'm just looking at some of the comments that Joe is making in the chat, and yeah, I'm gonna definitely get into that. I'm definitely gonna get into that box with a plastic knife. Watch me, because I am determined. So there's this another I found out about this the other day. There's another 6-issue set that gets into more detail about his training after he comes back to life, with Ra's al Ghul and Talia al Ghul, and that is definitely on another one on my list of things I want to read. I'm just gonna sit there, I'm going to take probably a week off of work and just sit there and just go through everything that I want to read on DC Infinite, and then still probably not get through everything. So yeah, so much to read. But I quickly added Batman Annual number 25 to my I don't think he thought about that, but he actually just walked behind me and ended up on the video. Yeah. Sweetheart, you realize that you just guest starred on my video?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So thank you. You brought me a real knife. He must love me. Okay. He must love me and he must trust me. Okay. This is real talk right here. Real talk. And you know what? We're talking comics here. We're talking pop culture. We're talking all that fun stuff. We will not talk long about work. But I will tell you, like anyone, I hate my job. I hate my job. Believe me, I created earlier on in this week, because of how iffy my job feels to me lately, a game plan action if I ever got fired from my job. And a lot of it involves adding way more content to this, involves doing a lot of writing, finishing my scripts for a couple different comic series that I've been working with just a little bit, and doing a whole lot of reading, because through reading I'll have more content, and through reading I'll also have more information to draw inspiration from for my writing, which I have started scripts for my first comic book series. Now, one, I'm a writer, I'm not an artist. So even once I get these scripts written, probably years from now, if I'm lucky, I'll need to still find an artist for them. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to them. But yes, real talk right there. Just need to quit our jobs so that we can read all the time. Well, yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. Yep. You missed. If you weren't looking at the screen, like there's 2 moments. He walked in behind me and walked out behind me, in behind me to hand me an actual knife. Yeah, I have what I have what could be good ideas, possibly. I actually my background is I have a degree in theater, and I've been working office jobs in the financial industry basically since 2004 sometime. 2005. Yeah, 2005, early 2005. Been working in the financial industry rather than yeah, sorry, I just saw his comment. Yeah. Yeah. But it's I have so many in my past play like stage scripts that I have abandoned writing. I have a few at least. But I think maybe I've hit my there's this particular idea that I've been working on developing in my head and on paper finally. That actually it's a story idea that I've been kind of trying to find different ways to write it. The whole idea of the storyline started as a high fantasy, and then I realized I don't want to write high fantasy. And then it turned into another type of novel, like a dystopian novel. And now it's like, you know what? I really love this concept, but I don't think a novel is the right place for it. And I began thinking that small comic series was the right place for the concept. So I have a knife. I'm going to open my slab now. Hey, that worked out. At least I'm not. Have I gotten it to the point where I can just almost to the point where I can just tear it open? Hi there, River Ravioli. River Ravioli was checking out what I was doing. River Ravioli is one of my kitties. We name our kitties after characters. Well, actually, Kaylee is the other cat. She came with the name Kaylee. And her name is Kaylee Spaghetti. And we have River Ravioli, whom we got Kaylee Spaghetti from a shelter in the area. And we found River Ravioli in the hallway. Okay, so right away, this guy did this up right, and I am so excited. It's the big bubble wrap. Oh my god, you see this in every video? You see this in every video, and it's the big bubble wrap. I want to pop it, but it's not popping as easily as the smaller bubble wrap.
Might be that unpoppable wrap.
Do you think it's the unpoppable wrap? Maybe. Okay. That's funny. That writing is. Oh. Look. Kitty, that's River. That's my River boy. He likes boxes like kitties do. He's like, I'm going to get to run into that later. I love my cats. They're so awesome. Okay. Plenty of things for you to play with, River. Plenty for you to play with. Kaylee Spaghetti. she's coming to take a look at the boxes as well. We got this wrapped in bubble wrap supreme. Let me tell you, this is so much fun. I am so excited. Oh my goodness, guys, I have arrived. We have bots. We have bots in the chat. Can I get rid of them?
How do you know that's a bot?
Because it's one of those things where it's, let me show you. It looks all weird. Yeah. So that is,
I don't chat with people enough.
yeah. Wee-hee, it's gone. Yay, we can all move on. My kitties are very interested because there is now a box with a bunch of bubble wrap sitting right in front of them. So of course I have their attention now. But here we go. I found it. One of my grails. Right away. I rule. Batman Annual 25. The Return of Jason Todd. Basically, it's let's see here. It's Batman Annual number 25, 9.6. We've got I specifically wanted this cover. This was not one of those things where it was like, oh, any cover will do. I specifically wanted the Jock homage to Arpo cover from, if you are familiar, the homage basically comes from Death in the Family, with Batman carrying Jason Todd out of the wreckage dead. So there we go. Yay! Oh my god, this is so awesome. Love it. Love it. It's really, really cool. It's a 9.6. Judd Widnick cover story Jock cover. Shane Davis, Mark Morales, Jim Apo, and Mark DiCarlo art. Origin of Jason Todd's return. Superboy Prime appearance. Death in the Family trade paperback cover swipe. And here's the back. And yeah, so I now own this. This is my second slab. My first slab is a Batman 97. Yeah. It's one of the Joker War issues, and it is the variant that is red background. It is a drawing of Harley Quinn. I know, it's one of my grails. I can't mention that enough. It's one of my grails, and I own it now. I rule. Thank you. So yeah, this is going to have a place of prominence in my studio once I redo it, because apparently I just am always disenfranchised with my studio all the time. I'm constantly redoing it, and I have a lot of stuff just kind of sitting on my desk that needs to go on a bookcase. And when I get paid from that job that I don't like next Friday, I'm gonna go score that new bookcase and redo my setup. So, all right. Well, guys, I have kept y'all long enough. I think maybe. It's got to be slabbed. Jackson deserves it. Oh wait, hold on. Oh yeah, so we are on the lookout officially for a particular Star Wars comic that, if anyone ever sees it on eBay and it's reasonably priced, it is Star Wars number 8. It is the first appearance of the character Jackson, which basically he's not a bunny, but he looks like a bunny. He looks like a big green bunny, and it is Joe's favorite character. But that is something that I contend that maybe we don't buy it, as a floppy. We just buy it Cgc, to start with. Yeah, I'm really fine. I'm really happy I got to do this. Obviously, I'm still, going through my growing pains involving doing things like lives and everything like that. But you know what? Now that we've hit the year mark, maybe I should get into that more. I think I will. We'll see. We'll see how that runs, and doing more of those. But yeah, this has been fun. I'm glad I was able to share this with you guys. If Yeah, what do you guys think? Do you like doing like live, going and chatting with lives for people that do like just comic book reviews, or are you guys kind of one of these kind of live streamer like watchers that like themed shows, like unboxings, or themed shows like today's Flashback Friday about Harley Quinn? Like, maybe if you don't know right now like how to answer that, let me know in the comments, and then I can probably do some more live streams, plan some more live streams that people would be interested in, get some more people here in the chat, and really have a fun time. But yeah, I'm glad you guys were here. When you're kind of new at this still, and you look up and there's nobody in the chat, it's kind of like disheartening. So then you get really excited. Yeah. Obviously that's how you found me. Yeah. You found me because I'm sitting there smarting off in the comments of the Casually Comics Sunday chat. Uh, that I really enjoy that. Yeah. I enjoy getting into different chats, and participating in those, and having a lot of fun commenting with everyone. So yeah, like more of how like more of how this was. Yeah, the specialty shows. I can tell you right now, because we're here and you guys have stuck with me throughout most of this, whole show. As you know, I do collected edition Tuesdays. And I'm having another really kind of light week comic wise, with the comics that I'm reading. So, let's see here. Not sure if I'll make their show tomorrow, but have fun. Yeah. You know what, Mary, if you, I don't think I've ever seen you on that one, but there's these two women. The channel's called Comics Will Break Your Heart. Comics Will Break Your Heart. And they do a Sunday comic roundup. Oh my god, we'll address that in a moment if you really want me to, Joe. And they do a Sunday morning comic roundup, and look back of news and the comics that they read. It's on Sunday mornings. It's Comics Will Break Your Heart. That's the channel. And the show is called Casually Comics, and it's Jen and Mars, and they're fantastic. Yeah, it's usually not necessarily Sunday morning, but usually around noon Central Time on Sunday. Yeah. There's people doing live shows on Saturday too. I think Shy Comic Girl is doing something tomorrow morning. I thought I saw that, but I might be wrong. But she's also been a lot of fun to discover and watch as well. Yeah, like really, it's a lot of fun. We sit here and we watch it, and I participate in the chat, and I love it. 9 a.m. and you're in Northern Illinois as well, if I remember correctly. So that's 9 a.m. Central Time. I'm not sure I'm going to get up that early. I'm going to try. I'll probably be having my coffee while watching, at least, if I'm able to. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Some of these chats that I'm in. Sometimes the chats get a little bit weird because people are weird sometimes, but I really usually have a very good experience chatting with the chat with the Comics Will Break Your Heart Casually Comics show. That's usually always a good experience. So yeah. Um, but since I have pretty light comic intake for this week, and we had a lot of information come out about the upcoming DC Crisis, I'm going to share with you guys my next, just to give you a little bit of a preview, my next undertaking with Collected Edition Tuesdays. I'm finally reading Metal. I'm finally going to read it. See where this whole, thing with the dark multiverse takes me. And then hopefully somewhere down the line before this summer, before the crisis takes place, Dark Crisis takes place, I will go ahead and jump into death metal as well. That's so metal, bro. Yeah, that's so metal. He's actually read this. He's read metal already, and I'm behind, and I have not read metal. So, yeah. Well, I'll have to do that and see what's up with that. I know. There's just too much to read. Too much everywhere that I want to read. And the thing is we have so many things coming out in March. So many. It's just thinking about some of the things. I'm finally I believe last I heard that the new Punisher series is starting in March. We've got a new Gambit series coming just in Marvel alone. We've got all the stuff. Oh, Batman White Knight, Batman Beyond is coming out in March. That's a big one for me. I'm a big fan of that whole White Knight series. Yeah, March is a very, very heavy month. You're right. You're right, Joe. March is a very heavy month. Good one. Good thing. I think it's like 31 days. I think it's one of the 31 days ones. It's a good thing. And you know what else is a good thing? Because I get paid every 2 weeks. I'm going to get paid 3 times in March. So I'm going to be able to afford all those comics. Yeah, I know. Oh, shit, that's right. That's one you're adding to your list. Han Solo and Chewbacca. Yeah. I remember that one. And yes, I feel like I will never catch up, and I find myself just being really insatiable, which is always good. It's going to keep me interested and keep me going, but yeah, that's your little sneak preview. I'm going to be reading these like mad this weekend when I'm not reading my floppies or working. As I actually have to end up doing a little work this weekend. But yeah, so guys, I think we're gonna go ahead and end it there. With that thought, I am not sure what I'm gonna do for my Flashback Friday yet. I think maybe I'll figure it out from reading this stuff, and I'll just go ahead and I'll announce that on Tuesday when I talk about metal. So, but the movie. Are you referring to Batman? The Batman coming out, because I'm excited about that. Point for gets right. All right. Yeah, everybody have a great night. I'm going to go ahead and end this thing. And yes, the Batman. I know. I'm so excited. Yes, definitely. Definitely need to see that. I am a fan of Robert Pattinson of our Pats. I am a fan. I'm a fan of his acting ability, and it is so he's so much more than just Edward Cullen, and that's just right there. So much more than just being Edward Cullen, and you know, a lot of people were upset about him becoming Batman because of Edward Cullen, because of Twilight. And it's like, you know what, does it help that for you know, all intents and purposes, that our Pats hated playing Edward Cullen. By all accounts, disliked it greatly. Maybe that helps some people. But yeah, I'm definitely a fan of our Pats, and I can't wait. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, yes, we need to watch The Lighthouse. You are correct, sir. You are correct. But yeah, enough of this talk. I'm gonna get offline so I can go read. So it's been fun, guys. It's been great. And I will catch you all soon this Sunday. I'm gonna have my weekly comic spoiler-tastic weekly comic roundup. Some of the things I'm gonna be reading is obviously we got Detective Comics, we got I Am Batman, so you got that to look forward to. And this has been the Officially Unofficial Geek channel. I am Carrie Quinn, and I'll be seeing you guys. Thanks for coming. Bye.